So, hey, it's the Red Rican. And what would seem like the funniest joke, CNN is starting, I guess, a news program on misinformation and disinformation. So, why do I say this is a joke? I'm just going to pull up this article and show you here. This is from the Political Insider. Beyond parody, CNN announces they're hiring team to cover misinformation. CNN business managing editor Alex Kopelman announced on Twitter Tuesday that the network is hiring a team that will be dedicated to covering misinformation. And here's the whole thing. Critics of the network were quick to slam CNN for the announcement that they were hiring a team to cover misinformation. Beyond Parody wrote Buck Sexton, co-host of the Buck Sexton and Clay Travis show. Journalist Glenn Greenwald pointed out that CNN was one of the biggest purveyors of the Russian collusion hoax for years, which is, here's the irony of it. So many news stories that they got wrong, okay, or outright lied about during the Trump administration, even now during the Biden administration. It goes to show that it's not about, it's not about misinformation. It's about misinforming people. For example, they're like, oh, Republicans blocked, they'll say, oh, Republicans blocked the filibuster rule. Well, no, it was bipartisan. Even though you only had two Democrats, you still, they still refer to the January 6th commission as bipartisan, even though there's only two Republicans on it, Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney. But, but this they won't refer to as bipartisan. But that's not a matter, that's a matter of opinion. You could call it what you want, but that's how they frame things, and it changes the meaning of a story. And that's what's going on here with this whole misinformation nonsense. And they act like they're telling you the truth, but here's the problem. It's opinion on both sides. They're using political differences as basically as a way to say, oh, this is misinformation. Okay. So much information has come out that the right has been correct about, that came out during 2020, stuff that, like, now, the right was talking about, oh, well, there's people in the hospital that are there with COVID, but not for COVID. And now, they want to make that distinction, but this was something that, it was conspiracy theory to talk about. This was conspiracy theory to talk about in 2020. Now in 2022, it's okay. Well, we'll see if it's okay, because obviously if this gets flagged on YouTube, I'm in trouble. But hopefully they'll see that, this was something that was on CNN, that they were talking about this. So, but that's what I'm talking about. It's not about misinformation. It's about, you may not have all the information at the time. So let's say you could say that the left were deceiving in 2020, but it could be that we don't have all that information. Period. I'm not going to always, I'm not going to attribute malice to what I can with just plain stupidity, because these people, but you know what, sometimes you got to give these people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you don't. And I'm not right now, but I'm just saying, just for argument's sakes. But this whole misinformation nonsense is just crazy. you know, it's the same thing with the fact checkers. You know, when who was it who sued the Facebook fact checkers, and in the lawsuit they said that they're just an opinion. Well, there's an opinion that you give weight to. That's what's going on here. Um, and you know, I encourage you, show this to people who will say, "Oh, but you know, oh, this, no, no, it's news, it's news." No, well, here, look, even let me show you. You know, people on the right don't freak out, but I'm going to start with this on purpose because I want, if you share this with someone on the left, I want them to see. Look, I'm talking about this on both sides. Here's I'm going to start with the Fox's most popular host, which is Tucker Carlson. And what did when he got sued, his defense, his lawyers and his defense said here that um, Fox's lawyers, the general tenor of the show, should then inform a viewer that Carlson is not stating actual facts about the topics he discusses and is instead engaging in exaggeration and non-literal commentary. Okay. So, so they admit his stuff, his opinion. But do you think Fox is the only one that does that? You don't think CNN does that? You don't think MSNBC does that? What do you think Cuomo and Don Lemon do? They don't report news. They sensationalize and they give their opinion. That's it. And now for you people on the left who saw me criticizing Tucker Carlson, guess what? If you share this with your friend, if you shared this with your friend on the left, here it goes. A court ruled Rachel Maddow's viewers know she offers exaggerations and opinion, not facts. That was her defense. Her defense was there when OAN sued her. Her response was, they called them literal. OAN is literal Russian paid propaganda, and an Obama-appointed federal judge, Cynthia Bashnet, dismissed the lawsuit on the ground that even Maddow's own audience understands that her show consists of exaggeration, hyperbole, and pure opinion, and therefore would not assume that such outlandish accusations are factually true, even when she uses the language of certainty and truth when presenting them literally as paid Russian propaganda. So the new news, because MSNBC is supposed to be news, Fox News is supposed to be news, CNN is supposed to be, news. But here's the whole thing. They all just opinion. The only time they agree is on the facts. Usually. Okay. If they're both telling a story, whatever they agree on, like I always say, that's the news, that's the facts. And what they disagree on is usually their opinion or a solution. So, they'll say there's a school shooting. Of course, they'll say the school shooting, 12, however many dead, how many wounded. That's the facts. That's the news. When they go, oh, well, this could have been prevented by reasonable gun control laws. That's an opinion. Where you're going to hear that? CNN, MSNBC. What's Fox News going to say? Well, in response to this, security should be armed in order to better protect the students. That would be a Fox opinion. But that's not that. Those are opinions. And what's going to happen here in CNN is they're going to fact check it. They're going to fact check misinformation. No, you're just going to fact check someone's opinion. That's it, with your own opinion. And that's what's going on. That's what I'm doing right now. What I'm telling you right now is my opinion on their opinions. But I'm just showing you exactly with my gun control example, with my school shooting example, I'm showing you the example of what's the news and what's the opinion. Okay. with both sides of their opinions. But you'll be fact checked by that, because it's like, oh, well, fact check, false. The security guard had a gun but didn't use it. Well, if he didn't use it, that's your opinion. It was a bad security guard. Just using that as an example, because you have the one in Florida where I think it was a police officer or whatever. He could have stopped more people from being killed, but he ran away. You know what? Not everybody that's in a cop or not everybody that's in the military should be in either service. Just because the fact that not everybody's built out, not everyone's gonna fight. You get the fight and flight response. Some people are gonna flight, some people are gonna run. But like I said, it's not about that. It's just about talking about how this whole fact checking misinformation is just going to be fact checking opinion. Okay. And that's the time, that's the world we live in right now. Trump exaggerated about so many things, and it was lie, lie, lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. Yes, okay. An exaggeration's a lie. But where are you fact checkers now with Biden and his speech? No, because you guys agree with it, so it's okay. That's how it works. That's how they get you to believe, oh, Biden screwed up with Afghanistan. Everybody agrees on it. He talks about how, that he acts like in his press conference that he didn't screw up on it, and nobody fact checks him on it. 13 people died. So, look, listen, we're in a dangerous time right now. And I hate to say it this way, but you need to pick a side. You're going to have the side that's trying to change this country fundamentally, and you have the side that wants to you have that side that wants to just control everything. And you have people like me. If you choose this side, you could, look, listen, you want to create your utopian socialist state, move to California. California has all the policies you guys want. Go for it. You know what? If I was a legislature, I would just be like, hey, you know what? You don't like our policies. There's enough of us that you're not going to change it. You know what? We'll pay for your ticket to move to California. Just under one stipulation, you can't move back. You move over there, I ain't paying for your ticket to come back. You could, if you eventually could afford to come back, you know what? Maybe you learned your lesson. But I'll pay for your ticket to move over there, and you could create your socialist hellhole over there. That's the beauty about federalism, and that's what they're trying to change. Is so like that you can't run away from what they're trying to do. So like that, Texas has to do exactly as California. Florida has to do exactly as everything as New York. That's the problem. You have these New Yorkers that move to Florida and try to, the stuff that they escaped in New York, they're trying to implement in Florida. Same thing goes with people that are moving from Texas to California. It's like, people, you're leaving these states for a reason, and then you move to other states and you try to make them the hellhole the states that you left. Makes no sense. My fact check right now, that's fact check true. It's my opinion, but that's what they fact check, people's opinions. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. If you guys didn't see that story, I thought it was pretty interesting about CNN, and I think it's a joke. That's why I like the article. They called it a parody because might as well have been something that the the Babylon Bee could have wrote. So I'm gonna leave it there. I am the Ray Rican. You can follow me here on YouTube and Rumble, and you can interact with me on social media. With that being said, have a good one.